everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today we're taking a look at another of DC Collectibles' new Batman Arkham Origins Series 2 figures. We're going to take a look at the final figure in Series 2 with Deadshot. Now, like with most of the other figures in the wave, this figure comes in the standard blistered packaging, with the Batman logo at the top, the figure clearly displayed in the packaging with a light blue background, and then the name of the figure and the Arkham Origins name, and an indication that this is with Series 2. Then on the back, like with all the other figures, we have a brief bio for the video game and a look at the other figures in the wave. Now, one thing I want to point out with this blister packaging, I'm not usually a fan of blister packaging, basically because normally it's so difficult to get the blister packaging open. Usually you have to cut it open with scissors, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass normally. But I do like that DC Collectibles has made it so it's easier to open these. They've created a little perforated little tab up here at the top, so you can just punch it in basically, and then just kind of pull it open to get the figure open. And so it's not nearly as difficult opening the packaging with these as than typically is with blister type packaging. So I do like that. So I just wanted to demonstrate that with this final figure in the wave. Alright, so let's finish getting this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Like with the other figures in this wave, I think DC Collectibles has done a pretty good job with the details and a good job of capturing the overall look of the characters from the Arkham Origins video game. Now, I will say that I particularly don't like this design for the Deadshot character. I think it's kind of boring and plain looking. But that's no fault of the figure. That's just I'm just not a huge fan of this design. I much more prefer his like comic book looks. But again, I think they've done a good job with capturing the look. You know, he's got his eyepiece on. Looks like he's wearing some headphones or something that are connected to the eyepiece. And then he's got the big kind of puffy jacket. Now, unlike Anarchy, where they had sculpted the jacket, the body of the jacket was sculpted, but then the arm pieces were like a foam rubbery type material. This is all plastic and all sculpted. So he's got the bullets. He's got his bullets on his shoulder, which he's looked to be glued on as a separate piece. And then he's got his arm cannons. And again, I think it's pretty true to what we see in the video game. They're kind of plain looking. They don't stand out very well on the figure. They use basically just some blacks and grays on the gun. So you have to kind of really look at them, but they don't really stand out a whole lot as guns. I think, again, they're pretty accurate to what we see in the game, but I would have liked maybe some more added paint detail just to make them stand out a little bit more. I think would have been cooler looking. And he's got like zippers on his jacket and everything, and like the creases to look like, you know, it's kind of like a winter jacket type deal. And then he's got the belt and the pouch. He's got a pouch, which, like with the Anarchy figure, is a separate piece, and it's soft rubber material. So there's a lot of flexibility there, so it doesn't really prohibit terribly the movement of his leg. In fact, the entire belt here seems to be a separate piece that they've glued onto the figure. So there's not a lot of give on most of the belt other than over here with the pouch, but it is an actual separate piece. And then with his boots and everything, you can see like his laces and stuff. So just nice detail in the treads on the bottom of his feet. So, you know, like I said, overall they've done a really good job of capturing the overall look and feel of the character from the video game. The figure does not come with any accessories at all. What you see is what you get with the figure. And unfortunately, it would have been nice like if they had given him like a sniper rifle or something, which I do believe he uses in the game. But even if you had like a spare sniper rifle from a different figure, unfortunately you would not be able to give it to this figure because they've sculpted both of the fists closed, so he wouldn't be able to hold a weapon even if he had one. So unfortunately the wrist guns are the only weapons that he's going to be able to use. Scale wise, the figure stands just under 7 inches tall, so he's pretty much the same size of like the other figures in the wave, you know, about the same size as Deathstroke. Batman maybe is just a hair taller with his ears, but for the most part they're pretty much the same size. Articulation wise, this figure is got pretty good articulation, especially for a DC Collectibles figure. You really couldn't get him into like laying down sniper positions, but of course he can't hold a sniper rifle anyway, so I don't know if it's that big a deal. But he does have an ab crunch of sorts, and he's got, like I said, pretty good articulation. But let's just go over the points real quick. The head's on a ball joint, so he can look up a little bit, but not too much, and then he can look down and left and right with no problem. And then his elbow or his shoulders are standard ball hinge joints. He can get his arms all the way out, which is good, and he's got good rotation. There's no bicep swivel, but there is a swivel at the elbow, and it's a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. And then his wrists do have the swivel and the hinge, so he can like put his wrist down to like shoot his gun, which is good. And he can put the wrists up too. As I said, they've given him on the upper chest a swivel with a little bit of crunch. It's not a whole lot, but he can look back about that much and look down about that much. And then he's got the swivel at that area. And then he's also got a swivel at the waist. And the legs are a standard kind of T crotch, and he can do the splits pretty good. And as I mentioned, because of that pouch being a soft rubbery piece, it doesn't really prohibit him from doing his legs out too much. And like I cautioned on the Anarchy figure, you know, it does seem to be attached pretty firmly to the belt. In fact, I think it may be one piece, all one piece of the belt. It's just that the belt is, as I said before, is actually glued on the figure. So I don't think you have to worry too much about knocking the pouch off or anything. And then he can do his legs forward pretty good and backwards. He's got a swivel at the thigh. And then he does have double hinged knees, so he's got pretty good bending at the knees. He's got a swivel at the boot cuff, and then he does have the hinged ankle pivot. So he does have that ankle pivot, which is good. So, like I said, I think this figure's got pretty solid articulation, pretty on par with what we saw with Deathstroke and Killer Croc. So this is definitely a good figure articulation-wise. And so just for some quick comparisons, here he is next to the DC Collectibles new 52 version of Deadshot, part of the Suicide Squad line. This newer version, this Arkham Origins version, has better articulation and everything. I kind of wish we had seen the articulation on the Origins version on the new 52 version, because I like the look of the new 52 version better. But it does not have as good articulation as this new figure does. But you see, they gave him like the sniper rifle, and he can hold the rifle and stuff. So I like that, and just the guns stand out more on the new 52 version. And there's just some more detailing with the mask and the faceplate. Whereas this one, it just looks like he's wearing a ski mask with the eyepiece over. And again, like I said, I'm not knocking this figure for that, because I know that's what he looks like in the video game. I like this look better for the character, and wish we had seen like this kind of articulation on this figure. And then just for one other comparison, here he is next to his Batman Arkham Origins 3¼ inch version that Mattel did for their Total Heroes line. And you can see the detail on this DC Collectibles figure is much nicer. I mean, it's a larger scale figure and all, and it's also got a little bit nicer articulation as well. Okay, so that about does it for my review. Overall, I think this is a very good figure. If you like the look of this character from the video game, then I think you definitely will like this figure and want to pick him up. The only downside I really have is that he didn't come with any kind of accessory like a sniper rifle or the ability to hold a rifle. That would have been nice, but still a very solid figure, good articulation, nice detail and everything. I just am not a huge fan of this look for the character, but again, I think the figure looks very true to what we see in the video game, and so if that's what you're looking for, then definitely you'll want to get this one. As I've mentioned before, this entire wave is hitting shelves now at your comic and specialty shops. They're running in the neighborhood of around $24, $25. So if you want to pick them up, start looking now. And until next time, I'll catch you later.